Don't we all love it? Sundays like these take me back to my childhood. India, Pakistan, and it's going to be an absolute humdinger. And it's great news. Waking up Sunday and Googling the Colombo weather, it says it's bright and sunny. We can see it in our telecast right now. My name's Avnish Agde, watching the match preview. And we have Somesh Agarwal and Nikhil Popat joining us. Som, how are you, especially after that wheel meal on Saturday night, my friend?
Yeah, good. Quite a good meal. So all energized, looking forward to the contest. Good to know that the weather is seems bright as of now. There are some grim forecasts later in the day, but as of now, so far so good.
So far, so good. Nikhil, how are we? Because, of course, yesterday we spoke about the other Super Fours game, which went Sri Lanka's way. But India, Pakistan, this is the one which will always whet the appetite of the fans worldwide.
Yep, and also for long it's always been about the bat. I think this game could be a lot more about how the two sides bowl.
Yeah, two sides bold. By the way, entertaining comments this afternoon. You guys might be digging into some biryani, might be sipping in some beer. Tell us what you guys are doing. And, of course, join us in this particular preview, because what we're going to do is show you some sumptuous stats as ever. We're going to take your questions. Hello, Mr. Anand. How are you? Chachant going on to say, always Chachant-like things. We'll come to all the particular talking points here. And Nimish Jadeja, if you're new, subscribe right now. What's the script? Who won? I don't know what the script is. The script is that they'll get their full money's worth, at least Jaisha and Cole, hoping that. The toss is about moments away, so Nikhil Popa will break it for us. But boys, what should India do if they win the toss? And more importantly, Somesh, do you think KL Rahul will come back in to see the things? Because he's practicing there, even Ishan Kishan is. So who do you think India are going to play today?
See, think though, I can't even. I mean, it's very difficult to guess. I wouldn't want India to change the 11 that played against Pakistan, so that means Bumrah comes back for Shami. But let's see. I mean, my only worry is that India might end up dropping a year after just one game and replace him with KL Rahul. I somehow, I mean, I just have a feeling that that might happen. Although that would not be a very prudent move, in my opinion.
Nikhil, do you agree with Somesh over there?
I think it's a straight swap for two spots. Shami goes out for Bumrah and Kishan goes out for KL. But stranger things have happened. Hopefully not this time.
Okay, let's see what happens out there, because one thing is for sure, India-Pakistan has been marred by rain. This contest, if you look back, even that 2019 World Cup, the 2017 Champions Trophy, even the 2016 T20 World Cup win that we got against them in Kolkata, and I say we as an Indian fan, or as a Bharatian, I should say. Let's predict how many runs our top order scores today. That leads me nicely to that inevitable subplot, right? Shaheen, Harris, and Naseem versus our three top order men. Nikhil, how do you think it's going to all unfold this afternoon or evening?
Hopefully a lot of plays and misses, which I don't mind. If there are edges, they fall short or they go in the gaps, because you are going to need some amount of luck as a top order batter versus a side that is so strong. So it's not about and you will need that in any game, in any contest, in any format. When you have two people who are at the top of their skills, you will also have to be at the top of their skills. And sometimes, even if you make a mistake, you'll want the first mistake to not be the last thing in that knock. So in that regard, hopefully, I'm sure the plans are set. This is discussed to death now since the last 6 years about left arm threat in the power play, and you've seen different people try different things. So Rohit was, I felt, very, I wouldn't say proactive in terms of attacking, but I think he was playing on the merit of it, and that's what eventually you can do, because the conditions are such, it is going to favor bowling. If it was going to favor batting, then you can plan it differently. But it is supposed to aid pacers, so just be careful. Play out the first 10, next 40 is all yours.
It's food for thought, that, Som, because even the stats suggest so. We'll get one right across the screens right now. And talk to me about these numbers, Somesh. What is alarming from an Indian perspective?
I think what is alarming is they are playing the bowler a lot more than playing the ball. There was this very good article written by one of my favorite cricket writers, Sandeep Dwivedi, for the Indian Express, where he interviewed Aqib Javed. Now, obviously, I mean, whatever is being said by a former Pakistani pacer, you'll have to take it with a pinch of salt. But he said something similar, that Indian batters are sort of they are not playing freely against Pakistan pace attack, and they're missing out on half volleys. So we went back to look at a few numbers. Now this is Rohit Sharma in ODIs.
Pakistan are bowling first.
Oh,
Enjoy.
Pakistan are bowling first. Oh my God. Oh my God. Sorry for so much to be intervened there, but that's a massive breaking news. And I'm sure it will sit well with the Indian fans. So much quickly going back to that Rohit Sharma thing in a bit. But how do you react to the toss and India?
I mean, like I said, I mean, in all India Pakistan game, I would prefer India losing the toss, because at the end of the day, otherwise the point is, if the result doesn't go in India's favor, it comes back to the toss. Oh, tumne ye kyun kiya? You should have batted first. Oh, you should have bowled first. So, I mean, any which way, India. I think looking at the World Cup, if India gets to bat first in as many games as possible, that would be better, because India are naturally a better chasing side.
Can they do what the Australians have done so far in that South Africa tour, Knicks? If they bat first, just absolutely leather it?
So we have to respect the conditions as well. So I think that's what I'll not get ahead of. But of course, you'd love to see that. But I don't think the conditions are going to allow that.
Okay, lots of questions coming in, of course, with that inevitable battle. Now that India are going to be batting first, so you can continue with that point, because Vivek Alu, Arsenic Gano, all are kind of hinting on the same topic. So you can go on and tell me what your thoughts are about Rohit.
Yeah, no, so we pulled some stats. Actually, this is Rohit Sharma in ODIs and T20s combined since 2021. And there is a reason we have combined this data, because we are actually looking at him on half volleys by pacers. So that's the reason we have combined those data. Now, against all other top 10 teams, barring Pakistan, Rohit Sharma has an average of 51 and a strike rate of 139 on the balls that are half volleys against bowled by pacers. But against Pakistan, he's faced 15 half volleys and he scored only 11 runs and got out once as well. He's not been since 2021 in neither of the Pakistan games. I think since then India have played Pakistan thrice, if I'm not mistaken, and in neither of those games Rohit Sharma has done anything substantial. He's not lasted long enough to make an impact, and this is one of the reasons which sort of also highlights that he's a little circumspect even on deliveries which are there to be hit.
Nix, how does he counter this? He, of course, spoke about it right now, so it's more the mental scars as well. Can he just go there and express himself? Because if Rohit comes off, India are pretty much winning the game.
Yeah, and I think I'll actually want to look more into that data, because just that half volley will not give you entire thing, because if there is swing on offer, then even that half volley at times can get you out if you are looking to over attack. So I think it's a very double-edged sword. That, and again, the thing with Rohit is, like you said, he gets in, he gets you the big score. It's a given. So that is his method. So I'll back him to be able to give himself the best possible opportunities to make it work that way. That it's okay if he's taking some time at the start, because you know what you can do. And he's not someone who gets stuck very often. That you very said, okay, Rohit is struggling to get the ball going here and there. He'll hit out or he'll get out of the way. So that is the one good thing with Rohit. So hopefully, let's see if there is a change in plan today, because in the last one, I think he was doing fairly well. That he was playing probably more on line than on length, in terms of if they erred in line, he was more than happy to take the risk, but not on in the channel that he wanted to at the start, which is again fair, because if he takes the risk and he gets out, we'll only question ki bhai, that's where they're going to bowl. So the risk and reward there is very, the margin of error is very less. So I'll say in the first power play, take your time, because you have to also take into consideration Shadab is not taking wickets. They've got in 5 Ashraf. So you have to make the most of that period as well, and make the most of it with your best batters and not always your middle order, because then that will make the others be under a bit more pressure to strike. So I think a lot eventually, as always with Indian cricket, will depend on the first 5-6 overs.
I'm nervous. I mean, honestly, I know you guys kind of keep your heart away and then watch it with your mind, which all sane people should do. But like sometimes it just captivates me, the sport, I tell you. By the way, interesting team news, by the way. Iyer has been dropped of back spasms. I don't know if that's a lie. Ishan Kishan starts.
I want to make teams with Somesh now, because he has inside this. There is...
Dude, yeah, I think Somesh telling me this. So, come on, man, spill the beans. How did you find out?
Instinct. Matlab, bhai, I am someone who's picked Ishan Kishan to be the highest run getter of the tournament and Shadab Khan of all people to be the highest wicket taker. So, I mean, you can't rely on me. It's just instinct. somehow I felt they'll do this. I don't agree with this at all.
But do you think it's actually a back spasm or they're lying?
If it is a back spasm, trust me, they should exclude him out of the World Cup squad right away. What is the point? He's come back out of a back injury. After one game, he has a back spasm. I mean, who are we kidding here, yaar? What is wrong? I mean, if he has a back spasm, then maybe he's not fit enough. To be honest, I mean
like it's
just
crazy.
replace him with Sanju Samson right away. No
Exactly,
point.
which makes you think about all the other replacements. I think it's just a lie. I think this is a classic tactic from any sports modern day management to just be like, yeah, they've got a really niggle, so we want to kind of keep him under cotton wool. Knicks, come on. I mean, if KL and Kishan go on to score hundreds today, then is it goodbye Tata to Shreyas Iyer then?
I don't know, man. It's just
It's like musical chairs.
it's more worrying because of the thing also that they've said. It's a back spasm. He's coming off a back injury. See, somebody pushed him and he had a nickel, it's a different thing. But here, if you're saying it's a back spasm, then what is the recovery process? What is the rehab? How is he getting one? I mean, it's the problem is you can't trust. I'll be very honest. You nowadays you can't trust what is coming out and what's the intention behind it. Hopefully he's fit enough, even if they both. The problem what it does is, as you said, if Ishan and KL both end up scoring well, again suddenly everybody will like drop Shreyas Iyer, and then you'll not have enough time to try him out, and then again you'll be in a mess where then if something happens to Kishan, then you're gone, then you're done, because then you don't have a backup there. So I don't know. It's either ways, either khai udhar kuwa. It's like that kind of situation. They do well, there could be a problem. They don't do well, there could be a problem today. So hopefully everybody's fit enough by the Australia series is all that I can hope for.
But with their selections today, Som, does that indicate that they're form obsessed? Whichever guy's in form, regardless of the names, just slot him in.
Not really, right? I mean, KL Rahul, I mean, there is no form associated with KL Rahul. So there is no reason to sort of bring him in the 11 if they are form dependent, like you said. I mean, all of this just makes me a little uncomfortable because looking at the India squad, in my opinion, Shreyas Iyer is the most important player looking at the World Cup because he is your player who has taken down spin in the past. That's his strong suit. And batting at 4, that is something that he would need to do come the World Cup, even when the pitches will sort of slow down in the later half, which we all know. I mean, you can right now feel the Australia's approach is really sexy, like everyone felt with England. But at the end of the day, you know that World Cup final is not going to be a 400 playing 400 contest. It is going to be your sub 300, not even 300, 260, 270, and somehow you'll have to either defend it or chase it down. But this is, I mean, it's just bizarre. Let's see how things shape up. I mean, we have been talking about Rohit Sharma not hitting half volleys. KL Rahul in big games again, top quality bowling has been the same situation in the past. I just hope the situation doesn't get the better of him because again, it's not really a must-win game for India. So the pressure is because it's an India-Pakistan game, but players can sort of try to free themselves, thinking that unlike some of the games in the World Cup, this is not really a must-win game. Even if India lose this and learn something out of it, they should still fancy themselves to beat Sri Lanka and Bangladesh and qualify to the finals.
Before I ask Nikhil about the teams a little bit, so remember India-Pakistan played the first time and you call that like a practice match, there's nothing at stake. Today, would you stick with that stance or do you think because Super 4 points important, the win matters? So?
Me, Nikhil, who?
So.
Can you ask it again? I just assume that you will alternate. I didn't hear the question.
No, I will go back to Nikhil, but I just basically wanted to ask you, you said that the first encounter in the Asia Cup between these two teams was almost a practice warm-up sort of game. Is today's fixture really important in terms of the grander scheme of things?
See, again, like I said, it's always good to win. Winning is a habit. I'm not saying that. I mean, I'm not saying to throw the game away. I'm saying from the mindset of, Shubman Gill made a statement that there was extra pressure because they were playing Pakistan. I'm saying to free themselves up, they can actually approach this as not a must-win game because it isn't a must-win game. I mean, if India play to 80% of their potential, they should still be beating Sri Lanka and Bangladesh on this pitches. I know people might come back and tell me that India just lost a series against Bangladesh, but that was completely different conditions. In these conditions, an 80% good India should be beating Sri Lanka and Bangladesh, especially in a 50-over contest. So maybe the batters can free themselves a bit, thinking ki bhai, there is a lot to gain and a lot to lose. So that's one aspect in terms of approaching it. On points, like I said, yeah, I mean, it's not really. I mean, if the loser of this match can still go on and play the final.
By the way, some pertinent points being made in the comments as well, not just our experts right now. If you guys are liking this content, drop a comment. We'll, of course, pin the best one over there. Next, let me just ask you about the teams, because Pakistan, similar team to what they dished out the last time in that win against Bangladesh. Let me just reflect it for you guys right now, if you guys are joining us. And it tells us this, that India have gone with 2 changes, both forced. One, Bumrah coming in back for Shami, and then, of course, KL in for Shreyas Iyer, believe it or not. Now, on paper, Nikhil, man-to-man, toe-to-toe, head-to-head, whatever you want to call it, who starts favourites and why in this one? If you just look at the 11s and the names.
Wish it was played on paper, though. So, having got that out, you'll say man-to-man, probably India edged them out in terms of the depth with the ball and also the depth with the bat. In terms of, you compare Yash, Fahim, Kuldeep Yadav is not better than Fahim, but till Jadeja, you have quality batters right down from top to bottom there in terms of in that spot till number 7. So I think in that sense, they are ahead, but the form and game fitness is what is very, very critical, because you see half of this Indian side hasn't played a lot of ODI cricket together and in such conditions. So that is what gives Pakistan the edge, that they have more people in form as compared to India, who have a lot of quality and pedigree, but they haven't quite hit the ground running. And it's also keeping in mind how they bowl versus Nepal. So it is one thing being rusty, and one thing just persisting with something that is not working for you. I think that's what was disappointing in the Nepal game, that they knew good length was working, but they still kept banging it short and kept getting hit, because that's what Nepal was ready for. So again, today, firstly, they'll want to get a score in place and then think about the bowling. But yeah, I think on paper India have more depth, but Pakistan have form right now.
Pakistan have form indeed. Let's just show you some stats, and there's more available on the website and the cricket.com app. Check it out right now. But it'll give you numbers like these. For example, how well Pakistan's bowlers have been in this year's Asia Cup. As you can see, Haris Rauf, the pick of the lot. As Ravi Shastri called him, Asad Rauf. It was a slip of the tongue, and I don't know how, but we might be able to guess that. Speaking of milestones, Virat Kohli, of course, needs still a fair way from 13K. If he brings it up today, nothing like it. And he's, of course, going to eclipse Jayasuriya soon. Who knows? Only time will tell. And not to forget this man as well, Rohit Sharma, because he is, 78 away from becoming the 6th man in Indian cricket to reach 10K in one-day internationals. And the last, but certainly not least, this stat as well, highest average by a pair, Virat Kohli and Rohit Sharma in ODIs. So lots to, of course, look forward to numbers-wise as well. And it's brilliant. Cricket.com, the app, and the website is fantastic. Check it out right now. We'll take some of your comments before the first ball starts. Let's go with Chachant. Goes on to say, what is the pedigree of KL? He's choked in every knockout he's played. Are we just go ahead with IPL bilateral stats, then Surya is ahead? And he backs that up by saying so. How can you bring in an injured player after a layover more than 100 days and that to a pressure match? This doesn't make sense. Can you make sense?
I think picking Surya over KL would have made even lesser sense, because at least from the amount of ODI cricket both have played, KL has been head and shoulder above Sky in the pecking order. The only thing that doesn't make sense is KL replacing Iyer, because I think they played. See, the reason is because people might feel ki 4-5 pe khele, both righties, ek hi baat hai. No, that's not true. They had different roles. Shreyas Iyer was there to dominate spin, which even the greats of Indian cricket and Rohit Sharma and Virat Kohli have failed to do against top quality spin bowling and under challenging conditions for a while now. Not even currently, for a while. It has been a downward slope for them against spin for 4 years now. So Shreyas Iyer was there to sort of fill that gap. be that spin basher, so to speak. Now they're saying it's down to injury, which is even more concerning, like that we have discussed. But I think Sky above KL would have been, for me, would have been like, ki bhai, ab to it just like Nikhil's favorite phrase, ki it's just Jai Mata Di selection.
And I don't know if Neural Hacks with Vasant makes a point here, Nikhil, but do you agree with him? Because he says being KL listed at 4 and Ishan 5, does it show that Ishan's a lock and now it's a toss-up between Iyer and KL if both are fit, that to Ishan is keeping?
They love musical chairs, which is very very evident, because why else will you list Kishan as a keeper? Do you not want to see KL keep? But again, whatever is listed may not happen.
Who's going to keep today?
Yeah,
in
but
the
I
team
think,
sheet, I, in the team sheet, I saw Kishan named keeper, but
yeah,
you
Nikhil,
saw KL participating.
I have a question for you. Let's say if Kishan is keeping in this game while KL is in the 11, that just confirms, right, that they've gone ahead and
Shreyas.
logged Kishan out.
Yes. Which is I say that is why I want to look at, because in the pre-show you saw KL doing the keeping drills and not Kishan. So if Kishan keeps, then again, as you said, this is again going to be going back to the same culture of picking recent, immediate last game form as opposed to keeping your planning at the forefront of all of it. So let's see. I just hope it works out, because they've tried everything and it hasn't worked. Hopefully, this will work for them.
Lots of people in the comments also are just trying to be, I don't know, honest with themselves and try to figure out what's happening with the Indian cricket team right now. People are just losing their mind. Sports fan is livid because this way both Kishan and KL can always play. Blood just boils.
I
today.
love
You were
that
crying for number 4.
Advitya's comment that KL cannot keep because of current fitness. I mean, all of our legends were fairly one-dimensional anyway, and now they can't even field properly. So it's like, I mean, I don't know. I mean, I have no words to say. I just hope that after this World Cup, in the white ball scheme of things, we are just moving on from, this entire generation. That's my only hope, to make Indian cricket more watchable, because it has somehow become a little bit, taking your place for granted and a sense of entitlement. I mean, the players who have been struggling on particular skills have been struggling. Players who are not ready to sort of develop the secondary skill are not developing it. So, I mean, I'm just looking forward to how Indian cricket shapes up after this World Cup.
It's crazy, right? By the way, I just want to shed a little bit of light on that second change that India have made with Shami going out, which means Shardul has kept his place here. Arsene Ghana going on to ask us, Nix, what is Thakur's role here? And he backs it up by saying Thakur is one of the trio pacers, simply doesn't look right for a cricket powerhouse like India. So do you think it's good? Because then Sanjay going to ask you similar line questions.
I think we work a lot on perceptions. I think we just love that, because Shardul is your highest wicket taker in ODIs, second most wickets after Kuldeep in the middle overs.
Yeah.
Whether we want to go by how people look, or in terms of sound, in terms of pedigree, or in terms of form. Now Shardul has done all his job in the middle overs, getting you wickets whenever you need them in the middle overs. That is his role. Shami is not great at that. And if Shami's numbers was good, he would be starting every game then. That there is a reason Siraj leapfrogged him to be the partner for Bumrah up top. So I think we need to also look at not just names. They may not feel like, okay, it's a big name, but he's getting the job done. He may not get the job done today or tomorrow, but that doesn't dissolve him of the performances that he's given in the past. So I think that's where Shardul deserves that chance to play it. And actually, Shanaka has taken 3 yesterday, and we know what he bowls. Shardul is very, very similar in terms of just hitting that spot, getting extra bounce. I wanted Shardul to be player of the match in the first game. Hopefully, he can be that today.
Yeah, I mean, that would be fantastic.
I just want to add something to what Nicholas said. Now, if Shardul Thakur is the best bowling all-rounder you can muster, so either you are wrong in questioning his place in the first place, or you are wrong in calling India a cricketing powerhouse.
Okay. I think he's wrong in calling India a cricketing powerhouse. He can't be, right? I think it's a former. Surely it's a former. Anyway, let's move on.
Free to judge.
Feel free to judge. What the fuck is the matter with this team selection saying Vikram Mohanty? We're just trying to make sense of it, by the way. Now, Pranav Anand, interesting point that you make here. I'll just read it out. But before that, please like this video. All you guys watching, nearly 50 of y'all. We're trying to get to 35.5K very shortly as well. And it's all because of you guys, because we're developing one hell of a cricket community here. So he goes on to say, this could happen. If this actually happens, then who keeps in the World Cup? We're about 1 month away, less than a month. We don't even know who's going to keep, yeah?
If he's not ready to keep 50 overs now, then might as well lock Ishan Kishan. I mean, why to sort of... See, I'm perfectly okay with handling the keeping duties to Ishan Kishan, because to me, in this 11, he's more of a lock than anyone else at this point of time, because he is doing multiple things for you, just like Shardul Thakur. I mean, we've been speaking about this for a while, that in my opinion, even Shubman Gill isn't a lock. You know, we keep talking about Rohit, Virat, others, but I mean, I really feel that I mean, soon enough, Shubman Gill sort of justifies keeping someone like Shikhar Dhawan out of the system, which I very well agree with, that it was time to move on from Shikhar Dhawan, because for a while he was not, his strike rate had gone down, and that is something that even in Gurkeerat's presence we have often discussed. But I mean, it should not be a point, it should not come to a point where all this ends up being futile and you are forced to sort of put Ishan Kishan as an opener, which again highlights the importance of Ishan Kishan. And that is why I feel that he should be on the team sheet in every 11, because that is one player which is unlike all your players. I mean, all your players are one-dimensional in what they can contribute on and where they can bat. Ishan Kishan and Shardul Thakur, along with, of course, Hardik and Jadeja, are those 3-4 players who can sort of play for the team and not for themselves.
And Ishan Kishan, there's so many things going for him, Nix. I mean, even though Pranav Anand going on to say, we'll pick Iyer KL every day of the week over Ishan, even if he scores 100 today, I have very little faith in him currently. They have been long-term plans. How much did that previous knock against Pakistan keep him in the team today? Is it just that one knock, or do you think they've already made their mind up before this fixture was announced?
So I think it's the good run of form that he's had ever since the West Indies tour as well, because it's not a venue where a lot of people got good amount of runs. But Ishan Kishan looked to be in the best of touches there, and very fair player to Kishan to be able to take those chances that has come his way. It's not easy. We've seen that in the past, that openers being pushed in the middle order, it hasn't always started seemingly well for them. So I think in that regard, he's done well, and that's what you want to reward, you know. And it doesn't really see, at times we often complain, oh, but it is come against West Indies. But then what else can the player do? He is only going to play what is in front of him. And if he's going to do well there, that's where he's going to get more game chances for, because he's shown you form, rhythm in those games. So you have to back what you see.
Okay, super.
And I mean, it's not like others fired against West Indies, right? I mean, if it's that easy, then others should have fired as well.
Yeah. And see, there is a very thin line between going entirely one way with one plan and the other. So while I'm saying myself that you have to see what's given to you on plate in terms of recency, but it can't override your 4-year long-term planning. So there has to be a balance in between the two, and then you go accordingly.
Yeah, it just makes you think how it really is going to be shaping up for Team India before that World Cup. They have just a handful of games to get it right. And again, today, it's just like, I don't know whether taking 2 steps forward or 2 steps behind, but you guys can let us know in the comments. By the way, just want to ask you guys the predictions and get that out of the way, because we always do that in the previews on cricket.com, just to, of course, bug and annoy our experts on cricket.com and hold them hostage to their predictions. So I want 3 from you guys today. 1, how much is India going to score? How much is Rohit going to score? And how much is Virat going to score? So 2 if y'all give me those 3 predictions. Nikhil, you go first, and then Somesh.
So we want 2 individual scores and the team score, right?
Yes.
So let's go that way. A couple of 50s and India score 275.
Okay, loving it. Som, do you agree?
I was thinking India 271. I have a little more faith in Virat than in Rohit at this point of time. 50 for Virat and maybe a 11 or 13 for Rohit.
Oh my
so
word.
Avnish, you need to be scared. It'll actually be a reverse.
Yeah, absolutely, yeah.
I don't know whether I should do the reverse psychology bit and be like, yeah, Virat shouldn't score runs, but I'm going to just say it out there. I think it's going to be Virat 50 plus score, Rohit 50 plus score, India 350 for 6 or something like that after 50 overs.
ऐसा तो
But
pitch ही
look,
नहीं है भाई.
I need to temper my predictions down. But our good friend Bhaskar Parida was out there doing a lot of weather report and all of that. He caught up some Indian fans ahead of the game. Let's just hear from them and get a sense of the atmosphere outside the RPS in Colombo. Harega, Pakistan Harega. That's a new one because we normally just think about the winnings, but we also managed to get India and Pakistan fans outside the stadium here. And check this out.
थोड़ी वो हो रही थी कल के हिसाब से आज देखते हैं क्या है पता नहीं नवाज आई फील नहीं है उधर वो बैटिंग सोच कर आप एक दो मैच इसलिए मैं जानता हूँ हाँ लेकिन पर स्टिल बॉलिंग लाइन जो है वो मैच तो क्लियर है हाँ अगर 300 मतलब पाकिस्तान की बैटिंग इस पिच पे मतलब जो मैं देख रहा हूँ 280 नहीं चेंज कर सकते हाँ इंडिया 280 बना नहीं सकती है दोनों के लिए मुश्किल है वही देखिए आई थिंक मैच दोनों इनिंग्स में पाकिस्तान की तुम मे बी मिडिल ऑर्डर डिसाइड करेगा मैच इंडिया में शहीन अफरीदी ही डिसाइड करेगा कि क्या बस हारिस राव फुल डिलीवरी नहीं फेंक सकते नसीम शाह को जो है आप अंडर एस्टिमेट नहीं कर सकते हाँ मतलब नसीम शाह जैसा बॉलर जो है वो बहुत मैं बता रोहित आई एग्री मतलब लास्ट मैच में फेस नहीं किया जा रहा देखो आप रोहित शर्मा को ट्रैवल करेगा एंगल है
Look, let the fans just do their thing outside the stadium here. It'll always be that chat, right, about India's batters against Pakistan's bowlers. It's been that chat essentially for the last 2 decades, even growing up, Tendulkar against Akram, so on and so forth. Last more comments to entertain before we, of course, go away. DK saying, please take my comment. I will, my friend. Where is your initial comment? Where are you? You're here. We should be looking to pick bowlers who do well in flat decks and then see how they do on helpful ones and not the other way around, going on to say DK. Like this video, DK, before I ask Nix to answer your question. Nix?
Yeah, I think this is in relation to Shardul. Let's wait and watch. I think we've talked a lot about Shardul. I think the numbers also say nothing else is going to convince other than a good performance against a strong side. So that's what they're going to play in the coming times. And maybe in the review, we'll get you numbers for Shami, Siraj, Bumrah, Shardul, all 4 of them in the pasture. Yeah. And again, if you still feel that, no, he still not feel... See, if you are not convinced by that, nothing is going to convince you. We are always going to work on perception only, that we still need Shikhar Dhawan, we still need Ashwin, we still need a left-arm seamer. It doesn't work like that. You have to reward form, consistency, and your planning. Shardul is someone who's going to bowl in the middle overs. If you play all 4 of Shami, Siraj, Bumrah, and Hardik, who is going to bowl in the middle overs for you?
We'll speak about the middle overs in the mid-inning show. I think it's a good point raised by DK over there. By the way, all you guys making some bold predictions. Arvind KS, good to see you. Like this video, my friend. And I totally agree with you. I'd want to be a little bit more greedy when you say Virat 75, but I'll take it for starters. Noodleax Vasant saying KL 50, India 260, Rohit and Kohli less than 30. Man, you guys are kind of devils in the comments. Really, that's there to see. Bring back Tala. He's got blessing from criminal Trump. He'll make India great again, saying Chachant. It's absolute Sunday shenanigans in the comments. And this team's ego is too much. Vikram Mohanty going to say all those lovey-dovey stuff should be left at the hotel. On the field, intent matters. It does matter. And what matters is you guys joining us in the mid-inning show as well. We're going to make it a sumptuous affair on the Super Sunday. Hopefully, there'll be a lot to write home about from an India perspective. The first ball is going to be underway. You guys can catch it. Catch the live blog on cricket.com for all the written content if you're just going around town and chilling. Somesh, Nikhil, thank you so much for your time. Always brilliant from you guys and your insights. And that's all we have in this Pakistan-India versus preview. I was going to say Pakistan versus India versus preview. I'm nervous. I just need a glass of water and then enjoy my Sunday afternoon. See you, lads. We'll see you at the mid-inning show.